So, as always, we begin by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands that we are on. We also acknowledge our ancestors. We acknowledge all those who toiled without compassion or compensation. We acknowledge all the elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. So, if you can please do us the honors by introducing yourself to our listeners and viewers and tell us about your amazing work.
Awesome. Tanse, everyone. My name is Fineday. Fineday Nitsika Son. I'm a Cree woman from the Sweetgrass First Nation, currently living out west, just outside of Vancouver, BC. I'm the CEO of Tâpwêwin Media, which is a national nonprofit, Indigenous-led media organization that I founded this year, and it is also the new home of Indigenous, of which I am the publisher. So Indigenous has been around since 2020, but we recently moved under this new organization so that we are a nonprofit newsroom.
Very, very good. And what inspires you about the work you do?
Well, we do storytelling, which is, to me, is how we make sense of the world and also how we see the world. So what inspires me is giving a voice to community members who are often ignored or mischaracterized or maybe even harmed by traditional mainstream media. Um, like the older women and the older men elders, we probably, you said that too, so it's probably like that in your culture, but like in my culture, the older you get, the more respected you are. It's kind of like the opposite of this culture we're surrounded by. And those old women and those older men, they have so much to say and they've survived so much. I love being part of an organization that platforms all voices and not just young, successful type of folks. I also love that we try to do things in a good way. Like we don't operate on a level of urgency with a high sort of amount of stress. We try not to be pushy. Um, we try to be respectful of the way that people's lives are organized, and we work around that. Um, we're very careful with our sources, our knowledge holders. If we're going to be interviewing someone for a story, we try to make sure that they have cultural safety. If it's going to be around a sensitive subject, we like them to have a support person in the room. We talk to them about which quotes we're going to use before we publish if it's a really sensitive subject. I also love that we can sort of call organizations, governments, and people to account if they are harming an Indigenous community or an Indigenous person. And we can sort of be a voice for someone who might be being harmed through policy or some sort of, governmental force or force of the state, like the police. We can hold those institutions to account and give a platform and a voice to folks who, again, would be marginalized. It's like we take people from the margins and we put them in the center. They are our people, and we try to uplift them and their voices.
Definitely, we do that with our elders. Victor, he's known to say, we don't speak until an elder gives a permission for us to speak. That's how a lot of times we start our conferences, anything like that. So we hold that to a high esteem, and that's amazing. That's amazing. So now, on the flip side, what are some of the challenges or barriers you face in your work, and how have you overcome them or in the process of overcoming them?
The barriers are many. The challenges are limitless. There's everything from the fact that we are existing in the same space as mainstream newsrooms, and sometimes we aren't as respected or understood or trusted as mainstream newsrooms, or like when we're in a room with other journalists, they might not understand our work. They might think we're activists more than just journalists and storytelling. They might not understand that ethically, our cultures are centered around the concept of truth telling and having integrity in our witnessing and our storytelling, because that's how we communicated information for millennia. We had to be reliable witnesses. We had to have integrity in our storytelling. Otherwise, entire communities could be at risk if we were to tell something that wasn't true or to, hide information that was important for someone to know. So for us, like that whole the idea of like journalistic ethics, for us, it's cultural and it's been there since time immemorial. And I think sometimes other newsrooms might not understand that about us, and they might see us more as, like I said, activists. Also, there's funding challenges. In journalism in general is really hard to fund right now. The sort of the business model has collapsed. This is one reason why I launched a nonprofit newsroom. And then another thing is the difficulty of finding and retaining Indigenous staff. So either reporters, editors, social media managers, operations managers, anything like that. It's really hard to find Indigenous applicants. And often when we do have Indigenous team members, they bring with them the effects of colonization that their family is dealing with. So we're dealing with employees who may have precarious housing or be homeless or have parents who are homeless or have problems with substance abuse or siblings who they're supporting or nieces or nephews that they're raising. Like they bring with them more, um, they carry with them the effects of that trauma that all of us have been through. And so I find that Indigenous employees, they need more support, they need more time off, they need more flexibility. And so that can be a challenge. I mean, it's not a challenge, it's more like something we respond to. And but it's something that comes with having Indigenous employees. I feel like there's more things too. I think like Indigenous communities have often been mischaracterized by mainstream media. So sometimes when they hear about us being journalists, they assume that we're there to exploit or practice parachute journalism, when really we just want to be there to tell their story. So we have to sort of get through that initial mistrust that a lot of communities have for media for good reason.
A lot of things there that, it's not easy, but it's organic, it's very authentic, very to be human, because in this world right now of digital age, AI, where they're replacing humans, where do the humans go? How do we now, you know, um, have a work-life balance to be able to, have those days and have the work to understand instead of replacing us. So, it's not easy, but at the same time, it's rewarding because, at the end of the day, you're helping to build
Mhm.
community. So very good.
Absolutely.
So is there anything new you want to amplify in your work? Anything that you're working on currently?
Well, we are in our very first year of being a nonprofit. So we just purchased Indigenous from our former parent company in January. This is our very first year of being nonprofit. We have applied for charitable status and we're hoping to get that before the end of the year, but I'm not sure if we will. Basically, we're about to launch our fall fundraising campaign, and everything we do here is supported by charity, reader support, and foundations giving and government grants. So we always look to community and supporters to contribute to our work if they have the means to do so. Um, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. For us, it feels like this has just been a momentous year, being the first year that we're on our own and getting all these systems in place. It's a lot, it takes a lot to set up an organization, from everything from like the HR to the IT, not just the content that we produce, but all the things behind it, the healthcare packages and the bookkeepers and all of the things. So it's been a big year for us, and we're always fundraising. I'm always hustling. So I'll just hustle here too.
Of course, of course. But that's exciting. Congrats on that.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Um, awesome. So tell me, how do you feel about the future of social impact in Canada?
The future of social impact? I mean, I think it is the future. I think we've been raised on we're right now creating a culture and like a system, a monetary system that is going to be the future. Like the capitalism and the sort of extraction that capitalism is based on is the old way, and it's jeopardizing human life on Earth. It's jeopardizing many systems of life on Earth, the salmon, all the water creatures, um, the earth itself, the soil. You know, capitalism has contributed to the destruction of many, many different um, systems on the planet. So the idea of social impact and the way that people in this space are conducting their business, I think is a lot healthier. And it is the future, like this idea of collaborating for the benefit of all, and the idea, can we make money while also acting ethically as human beings on Earth in this space? I mean, that is the future. So I think wherever we're at now, it's only going to grow. And I think those older systems that are based on destruction and greed, they're going to fall away. And so right now we're building that replacement for that old system. We're creating that new system that everybody, I think, in the future is going to be a part of.
Absolutely. It's like bringing back the old system for the
Yeah.
new. And what I mean by that is social impact is something that our foreparents have been doing, right?
Mhm.
Helping, community building. In Africa we say, it takes a village,
Yes.
so it's something that is so natural for us.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a rewashing, an updating, when you update software, software was there before, maybe we got to just update a little bit just to get people not to forget those good old, those good times of community based within
Yeah.
family and community. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
that's awesome. So if I was to ask you, what does success look like to you? What would you say?
Long-term funding, like a business model that I could rely on for the next 5 to 10 years. A larger team where I was paying us a little bit more than we're all being paid now, and felt like there was that cushion underneath us to support if any of our current funding streams fell. For me, it's all about financial security. Right now, we're sort of in a precarious position, but we always have been. Indigenous has always been precariously funded. It's been around for 5 years. It's been precariously funded since the get-go. Um, and I think my dream would be for us to not be precariously funded. Um, that's what success looks like to me. Having said that, just even though our team is small, we've only got 5 employees altogether. When I check in on Slack every morning, or when we have our weekly meetings and seeing everyone's faces and sharing space with them, in a way, that is success. Creating a workplace where folks feel safe and like they can connect with each other is to me is success.
Amazing. Amazing. So, wow, Eden, this has been beautiful, very inspiring of what you're doing, very forward thinking in community strength and just amplifying community based projects and things that are going on, to help uh, build this world back the way that it should be, and it was before man
Mhm.
came to destroy. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
if you can please just give us your closing thoughts and calls to actions at this time.
Sure. Um, well, I was struck when you were talking about this idea of like taking care of community. Like in my culture, we never had those level, like that caste system did not exist. We didn't have royalty who lived better than non-royalty. We had chiefs, but even the chiefs shared everything they had. And in fact, wealth in our community was showcased through giving it away. That's the most honorable people gave everything they owned away. Um, I think we're at a really crucial time in history. Folks are being asked to really question themselves. Why are you here? What are you doing? How are you making the earth better? How are you helping your own community? How is your community helping um, less privileged communities? And how can your family, your company, your organization, or you do more, do better? Now's the time for us to come together. We live in divisive times. Let us not fall prey to those traps. Let us look at each other, see each other's humanity, lift each other up so that we can create a world that is good for all people's children, where all people's children are safe from war, from famine, from greed. I want your children to thrive just as much as my children, and that's the world that I'm trying to build. So thank you so much for having me on this show, Maat.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's truly an honor, and the more that we can think that way, trust me, things will start to heal. Planet will start to heal. Mind will start to heal. And we can actually make a change, and to help the next generation, because we are foundation builders. We are building a foundation, but we do realize we have to pass the torch on. So we are definitely heading in the right direction. So on behalf of SETSI, we want to thank you so much again. Much strength to you on your journey. And
Thank
we will
you.
close the way that we began by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands that we are on. We also acknowledge our ancestors. We acknowledge all those who toiled without compassion or compensation. We acknowledge all the elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. So Eden, I'm sure we'll definitely, well, Victor already sent you the invite, so I'm going to see you again real soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. All the best to you. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.